Welcome back to my channel. Glad you could join me. Today I want to show you how easy it is to use the sky replacement tool in Photoshop to replace a boring bland sky, or if the sky really sort of doesn't really suit the type of mood and feel that you want your photo to look like. Now, I've done this a couple of times and I've posted to social media, but when I've done this, I've stated very clearly that the sky has been replaced. I don't want to deceive anybody thinking that this is the photo that I took. Only about a week ago, I put on social media this photo here, but I had replaced the sky in it, and I did state that the sky had been replaced. And in the comments, a few people say like, I've looked at this tool, I found it a little bit difficult to handle. Could you show us how to do it? Like, describe it to us. I replied saying, well, instead of just trying to write it out and explain to you in the comment section, the easiest way would be to do a short YouTube tutorial to show you how easy it is to use the sky replacement tool. So today we're going to use the sky replacement tool, but at the end I'm going to show you a little bonus that a lot of people don't know that's there for your own photos. So let's jump in. So this is the photo that I posted about a week ago on social media. It's a very nice photo of Brisbane at twilight with the Story Bridge in the foreground, the city in the background, but really it's just a very bland sky. I just want to add a bit of emphasis and just have a bit of fun creating a photo very different to what this one is. So I used the sky replacement tool, and this is all I did. I went to the edit panel up here, I clicked on sky replacement, and you can see now it pops up here, the sky replacement tool. And if you've already used this tool, it remembers the last sky that you used. So this was the last sky that I used, I was having fun with. But if we click on here, see, we've got sky here, we've got the little down arrow here, and it starts off with blue skies. So if I click on a blue sky here, just a very bland, you can see it's fairly bland. If I had taken a photo of the Story Bridge here during the middle of the day, then I wouldn't be using a sunset photo. I would be grabbing just one of these plain blue sky, and look at that, it just adds emphasis. Of course it doesn't match this photo here, but just try to imagine that this was taken during the middle of the day, there was no clouds in the sky, it would be a boring sky. You just want a bit of emphasis, just put a few clouds up there. This is how easy it is. But for this image here, I want like late sunset, twilight. So I just scroll down here to spectacular skies. You can see the first one's a rainbow, and we'll just go through these and look at that. It's still a bland sky, but look, because the rainbow's coming in, it looks really nice. Then we've got another one here. This is an image taken in portrait orientation. It doesn't match this panoramic image. The clouds have all been stretched. If I was using a photo that was taken in portrait orientation or as a 6x4, this replacement sky would look great, but for panorama, doesn't look good at all. So we go down to the next one here, and this is the sky replacement image that I used for this image. It just matches it so nicely because the buildings here, there's a lot of glow, so you can imagine that the sun is in the background there, lighting up the clouds, and also the clouds bouncing the light onto the river here. But look to the left here, it's fairly bland because there's no color there. It looks very realistic, and that's what I wanted, a very realistic image. Now we'll leave this image, we have to click OK. If we don't click OK, the replacement sky doesn't get put into our image. This is a 6x4 image of a sunset taken around Lake Somerset. There's some glow in the foreground there, but look at the sky. It's boring. There's just no wow factor in this photo. So use the sky replacement tool and drop in a sky. So we come back, edit, we go sky replacement. And remember, it uses our last image here that we used there. But it doesn't really seem right, does it? Look, it doesn't match. But look, when I click on the next one down here, I'll scroll down. Look at this one. It is just made for it. Because look, right in the center there of the replacement sky, it's very bright. You can imagine this is where the sun was setting. And look where our actual sun was setting, just behind that tree there. Now I tried to line up the setting sun behind that tree there, just so it wouldn't sort of blow out the horizon too much. Look, everything matches. Don't you think so? So you can see this is how easy it is. We'll click OK. Now we'll come up here to the last image. And this one here, I will show you a neat trick. As landscape photographers, we take a lot of photos. And I'm sure that even yourself at home, you've got quite a lot of different photos of skies. In the sky replacement tool, you can use your own skies. You could build yourself up a library fairly quickly by, let's say on a day you go like, okay, well, wow, look at these clouds. Like at sunset, you just go and make sure that there's nothing up, no superstructure, like no tall trees, no buildings or anything like that, and just photograph the sky. And you just save these to a folder, and you can start calling them Sky 1, Sky 2, Sky 3, Sky 4 in TIFF format. They have to be in TIFF format. Well, preferably. Look at this image here. It's quite nice. This was taken in the Scenic Rim last year. It was a very overcast day. Even though there's clouds here, it's a fairly boring image. Watch what happens now when we just add a bit of detail to it. But this time, I'm going to use one of my own images. I come up here to edit. We click on Sky Replacement tool here. I scroll down here. Can you see here I have a folder called Charles. I've made a folder called Charles, and I've put some of my own skies in here. We click on the first one here. Does it match? No. Let's click on the second one. Oh, very close, but not really. I'll go all the way to the bottom here. Look at this one. This was shot at sunrise at Deception Bay. It was a very overcast day, and then all of a sudden this ray of light just came through the clouds, and I just took a photo right on the horizon. There was nothing between me and the clouds. It looks so realistic. It's a fairly drab day, but it just adds a bit of moody feel to the sky. I'll show you now how easy it is to do this. I'm going to go back out of Photoshop here into my program called ACDC. I'll make a new folder called Photo-3, and I'm just going to copy two photos here. There, I'll call it, this one's Sky 1 and this one I'll call Sky 2. So now that I've made this folder, and when you make this folder on your computer, you have to make sure that you don't move it. Like at the moment, it's just a temporary folder and I will delete it. But in the future, I will make a folder dedicated just to my sky photos. Photoshop has to have a reference to these sky images at all times. If you delete it, it's not going to know where they are. So we go back up to the Sky Replacement tool. I click on it, and see down the bottom here where it says folder? Click on folder, and it has a name, new name here. So I can put down skies. You could call it whatever name. Bob Skies, Emma Skies. I'll just call it skies and click OK. Now you can see there's nothing in this folder here, but look, right beside there, see that little plus there? I click on the plus and I come up here to Photo 1, Photo 3, sorry. I click these two skies, click OK. It's working, see, it's importing them. Now can you see, they're in there. I've got one sunset and one cloud. If I click on the cloud here, look at that. This is my own photo. There's no need for you to use the Photoshop Sky Replacement tools. So after a while, you can build yourself up a very nice library of your own skies. You can say, I've replaced the sky, but with one of my images, not with a stock Adobe Photoshop image. And this is another one here of sunset. Now this one, of course, totally doesn't look right, but look at that. It looks really good. This is how easy it is to use the Sky Replacement tool in Photoshop. There is one thing that you have to be careful. If you've got buildings and all that, sometimes if you've photographed, let's say, the city and all that, and you're replacing the sky in the background, sometimes the buildings will look a little bit washed out because the sky actually goes over the buildings a bit. But with a bit of playing around, you'll actually find the perfect sky for you. And like I said, you can build your own creation of skies. This is a very easy tool to use in Photoshop to replace a boring or bland sky. But you don't have to just open up in Photoshop. If you're working in Adobe Lightroom, you could just export that image to Photoshop. Do what you have to do with the Sky Replacement tool, flatten the image, and then bring it back into Adobe Lightroom and keep working on your image. I just opened up Photoshop to show that you can just do it straight from Photoshop, but you can also just export your image from Lightroom so that it stays in your catalog, so everything is accounted for and you haven't lost that timeline. If this video has been of benefit to you, give me a big thumbs up. I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stay safe, enjoy photography, and I'll see you next time.